Okay. Good morning. And I think what we are going to start doing, so if you hear this very repetitive welcome, I think what we're going to do just for the sake of the podcast and the YouTube channel, we're just going to get a solid welcome going every morning. So you'll just hear me say, hey, welcome to Hustle and Slay. It's your girl, Sydnee Sleiman, your social media strategist, here to give you all the goodies on growing your business online. And for that reason, because a lot of people are listening to the replays. I know this is a hard time for people at 9 a.m. Working and just life in general, because I know some mornings things are crazy. Like this morning, I got up at 5 a.m. and I felt like I was going to have all the time in the world to do things. And before I knew it, it was 8 o'clock and I had to take Zane to school. So I'm totally aware that this doesn't work for everyone at every time. And that's why we have the podcast. That's why we have the YouTube. Even inside our app, if you didn't know, there is also, they gave you an extra hour. Yes, you did. Even inside our Hustle and Slay app is where you can find replays of all of these as well. And what I would encourage you to do is, if you find value here, share our stuff out on your Instagram, on your Facebook, share our stuff out with your teams. I think that it's super important, and I've probably said it a million times, but it's super important that we are successful in entrepreneurship together. Because if someone fails at a business, if someone, even if it's a competing product, I've been there and I understand that, but if someone fails at something and they quit, to their whole network now, let's just use network marketing as an example, to their whole network now, network marketing sucks. It doesn't work, right? And they have no idea what happened. Maybe that person didn't work. Maybe the product wasn't really that good for them. Maybe they jumped into it not realizing it wasn't for them in general. So I just think it's important that as a whole in entrepreneurship, we continue to support each other. So again, like I said, if you ever find value, which I'm sure you do here, we would appreciate it so much if you could share this out. You can just share out, this picture of us and tag us. You can share out you listening to our podcast, whatever it might be. The podcast goes all the way back to, just so you know, in case you hear things that are not familiar to now, it goes back to before we rebranded ourselves, but we didn't want to get rid of some of the episodes because we have some incredible episodes from Judy Holler, Jennifer Allwood, Fraser Brooks, Glenn Lundy. So you can go back to all of those. They're always all relevant because the things that they spoke about. I mean, I just listened to the one the other day by Phil M. Jones. He wrote the book, Exactly What to Say. I think that one's something you can listen to or should listen to like every 6 months. So just know that those are always there. They're always archived. That's why we kept them. And you can, if you subscribe, I do Spotify. I know it's not for everyone, but I do Spotify. So every time I even upload a podcast episode, I get a little notification because I follow our podcast saying, hey, new episode is up. So that's a great way to remind yourself too. But I know for me, especially in the year of 2023, I'm really looking at stepping up my business. So I've committed to certain things. I listen to music at my computer because I have ADHD. It's just the best way for my brain to work. But when I'm in the car, it's always a podcast. It's always a book. I don't give myself another option because I don't have all the time. Sometimes I can't sit down and read. So I really take that time to hone in on my personal development, which I believe is very, very important, not only to your business, but to your social media and your confidence. So today I wanted to talk about the win. And I think the win is important because I love results. I probably should get a shirt that says results driven. I will not do things if I don't see results. And sometimes I tend to pivot a little too early. But that being said, one of the reasons I love results is because I love being able to help the people here with things that will actually work for their business. I wouldn't have people showing up or people listening to the podcast or the YouTube channel, or Jess and I wouldn't, if some of the things we were telling you didn't work. It's like, if I'm going to the gym for 3 months and I'm not seeing any results, I'm probably going to stop going, right? Like you're going to be in your mind, like, this is a waste of time. It's not working. So everything that I chat about are just things that I've already done in my business or already implemented that I have seen work for me. And so that's why I really like to share them here. Because again, I just believe you have to have an abundance mentality. I will never gatekeep anything from you. If I'm gatekeeping it, it's just because I want to make sure it works. So once I let it loose, it's because it works. And so some things I want to preface before we start talking about the win. And because I know for a lot of people, they want to see results as well. Nobody likes to not see results. I'm totally aware of that. It's human nature, right? Nobody likes to do a bunch of things and then get no results out of them. It's discouraging to your confidence. It's discouraging to so many things. So I saw this and I wanted to share it in the beginning of this whole conversation so that you can kind of just understand and evaluate yourself, because all of you show up here, whether you're listening on the YouTube or the podcast, you're here live. That's a step up more than the average person. That's a step up more than most people. That is way more than what most people are doing to work their business or to grow their lives. So most people spend more time scrolling than creating. Most people spend more time comparing than working. Most people spend more time making plans than taking action. I know that one for a fact because I tend to do that myself often. And most people don't achieve their dreams. I don't want to be most people. Do you? You don't have to answer that. Kathleen's like, nope. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to be most people. I have a hat that says I don't train to be average, and I believe that's true. I don't believe anybody decided to go get a side hustle or an entrepreneurship on top of their 9 to 5 to be average. That's probably not what you did it for. It's because you want more out of life. The average person doesn't even go on a vacation once a year. I don't want to be average. What the heck? That just sounds like a very boring, sad life to me. And I get that. Believe me, I was there. I was Dollar Tree. I couldn't afford to even think about a vacation on my schedule and my income. But I was most people at that time. I had no thoughts of going further with my life. No more thoughts than being average. I was very content with how I was living. And why is that? Because it's comfortable. Even when I used to work at my job, I think about it a lot now, like why I stayed there for 9 years. Sometimes I probably spend way too much time thinking about that. But a lot of it was because it was comfort zone. I could go into work whenever I want. I made the schedule. So I decided who worked with me. And if I didn't like them, they didn't work with me. I decided everything. I could go off on lunch whenever I wanted and go wherever I wanted. I had the keys to the store. Sometimes I would shut the store down too if things were getting too crazy. Just like lock the doors. Boom. I made all the decisions, but it was comfortable for me. So when it became time to walk away from that and go full throttle into my entrepreneurship, it was a little bit uncomfortable. I had to start waking up and like, even though I've been telling people what to do for the last 9 years, now I had to tell myself what to do. And if I didn't say, hey, get up, go do your reach outs, get up, go live, I wasn't going to do it. Right. But because I started seeing more things like traveling, like nicer cars, like people who had bigger dreams and bigger things that I wanted to be like, it trained my brain to say, most people spend time scrolling. Most people spend time comparing. Most people spend more time making plans than taking action. So that's a big thing too, is every week when I kind of share this stuff with you about social media, I want you to take it in, but I want you to process it. I want you to be like, wow, that was very helpful for me. How can I implement it? Not take notes, close your book, and go on with your life for the day. Because that doesn't help me or you. What I want most is for people to come back into these groups every single week and be like, oh my gosh, that worked so well for me. Like a couple of weeks ago when Kathleen was sharing about her salad reel, like that filled my cup for the whole week. It made me so happy. Because when I know that results are working for other people, it just gives me the motivation too, to keep coming back with more things that I know are helping. And that's why I love helping, because I don't believe anyone that shows up to these, that listens to these, that tunes into these wants to be average. You want to make an impact on as many people as possible, including yourself, which is very fair. I know sometimes people say that's selfish, but it's okay to be selfish sometimes. It's okay to want more for you and your life and your family. It's what's going to keep you truly motivated until you start gaining that team of people that you're like, oh my gosh. And again, there's no better feeling of when someone messages you and says, oh, I just filled up my gas tank with my income this week, or groceries wasn't a big deal this week. I have a girl on my team every week. She reminds me that she can pay for gymnastics for her daughter. It just fills my cup, right? So I wanted to talk today about the win. And this is a little bit more like analytics when it comes to social media, a little less, well, no, it's going to give you some action tools, but it is analytics that you're going to have to kind of figure out. You're going to have to work with a little bit in order to know what's working for you and how you'll be able to implement the strategy for your own social media. And what I'm going to do is just give you kind of, because again, I had to base this off my own results. So what you'll do is you'll take the tools. I'm going to give you like a little strategy, but you're going to have to produce your own. And my goal here was to kind of force you, I would say encourage, but I just think encourage is too nice. It's like a kindergarten word. And I feel like we're seniors in high school. So I'd like to force you to create content in order to see if the strategy works for you. So what I found, especially posting on multiple social media platforms, is that there are things that work and there are things that don't work. And especially it can be a little challenging sometimes when, let's say, for example, you do something on Instagram and you want to go do it on Facebook, or you want to go do it on TikTok too, and it doesn't work the same results, right? Or, hashtags are a little bit different, or going live is a little bit different. And I understand that there can be challenges there for people on that. And that's why I created this, the win, so that at least if you're creating content, I will help you strategize when is the best time and where is the best places to put those. Because I'm going to kind of turn this parts into the when, the where, the why type deal. So what I've found, right, and yours may differ from mine as we kind of chat about this is, but again, you have to start producing to know. So if I say some things on here and you're like, well, that's not going to work for me, pull out the proof to yourself. Be like, oh, okay, you know what? She's right. That didn't work for me. Or just be like, I've never done that before, so I don't know if it works for me. And as we go through these, some of them you might shift a little bit. And the biggest thing too that I want everybody to comprehend here is similar to the gym, similar to anything else you do that takes time, you've got to trust the process. 100% trust the process. Because if something doesn't work for you in 2 days, 2 weeks, over a time, a lot of people will quit. A lot of people. Think about how many people join your business and in the first month, they quit because they didn't see any results, or their best friend didn't sign up. And they said it was stupid at Thanksgiving. So they decided it was stupid, right? Like just so many reasons. But a lot of people quit early because we have such an instant gratification mindset as a society. We want quick microwave results. I'm with you. I'd like those results too, but I've learned in time that you have to trust the process. And sometimes the results after trusting the process can be tenfold, way more than if you were to just get those instant gratification, right? So the reason I wanted to talk the win too is because I thought to myself, wouldn't you want to know when is the best time to post content to get the results? Instead of posting and not getting any results that you want, I would. And that's a big reason this was intriguing to me, because the platforms can be different. Like I said, when it comes to Instagram or TikTok, and as long as you're paying attention to the analytics, they can be understandable. And I'm going to share that strategy with you. That's why I created this. And just know, I'm not saying here that you have to post 17 different pieces of content. I'm telling you, we can post one piece of content and use this strategy to make it work on all platforms that you're showing up on. And I'm going to stress and continue to stress that next month, we're going to have a TikTok challenge. If you're not even on there right now, if you are on there, if you aren't on there, whatever it is, but if it's not working to your advantage for what you want it to work for, if it's not working for your business or your brand, because I know a lot of people who do things on social media that have no relevance to their business or brand. And fine, that might be fine for you, but I think all of us here want to grow a business, right? We want people to join our business, try our products, take a look at our opportunity. So it is important to shine that brand and that business and that product and that opportunity even in your personal stuff. Because I was chatting with someone when we were in Atlanta last weekend. I love to do personal stuff. You guys know I like to be funny on here, but I always try to relate it back to my business or my opportunity, or do a funny thing every once in a while to try to gain people, because I know humor makes people come. People like to laugh, right? So as we do some of these things too, you can switch up some of your content to things that are business and brand, maybe things about family, things that are funny to you, or hacks and tricks you just learned in life. Like, I don't know how many times I see things on TikTok or Instagram, and it's like the best way to peel an onion. And I'm like, I didn't even know how to cut an onion. So things like that, right, will bring people in. And then it's your opportunity to drip business brand opportunity content on them. So who's calling me? Oh, okay. Sorry. Everyone always calls me when I start sitting down here. It's always impressive. So after posting at different times of the day, to see when I got the best results, I found this process that works best for me. And I want to give it to you to figure out what works best for you. And so by saying that, I want to say there's no universal best time to post. So when I give you like the times and the things like that, like I'm not going to tell you 8:27 is the best time to post. Okay. I'm just going to give you this is kind of where I post and what's worked best for me in this realm. But each account is going to have times and times that are better or worse, right? And it's kind of like that with each platform too, is you're going to see things that work better and don't work as well. And that's why you have to produce content though, because you won't be able to look at this and go, oh, that worked, but that didn't, right? Just like, I feel like working out is the easiest example, but just like working out, right? Like for me, I love to lift weights, but I know that if I do a solid 15 minutes of running every day, I will get the results I want. So I try to run before I lift weights because I get those results. And the only reason I knew that was because I started running, even though I don't like it, but I started running because I was like, I need to see if I can get some results. Yeah. The only thing you'll see me running to is like tacos, or if I'm running from someone. So that's about it. That's all the cardio I do. So the first thing that I found as far as when it comes to Instagram and TikTok is I found that posting at the 15-minute mark, or like let's say 8:15 or 8:45, just to put it into mind for you. Those have always worked better for me than posting right at like 9 o'clock or at 9:30 or at 10 o'clock. For some reason, it's kind of just always worked better for me. Or I'll do like a whole 8:38 or something. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I don't stress too much on what time it is, unless I'm like, oh, it's 9, it's 9 o'clock. I'll wait until 9:16. That's really the only time I stress about what time it is. Otherwise, if it's like 9:18, I'm not going to be like, well, Sydnee said do it at 9:45. So now I have to wait another 27 minutes to post it. Don't do that. Like, I don't want you to stress out too much about this, but I just want you to think about some of the times that you're posting things. Like, I know for a really good example is that Sundays, no matter what time, are horrible for my content. Doesn't matter if I post in the morning on Sundays, in the afternoon, or in the night. And the reason I know that is because I've tried it each time. So one of the first things I'll tell you is that even when you're doing this strategy, you have to post at least once for consecutive days. This matters because how would I know that Sundays didn't work if I didn't post on Sundays? Maybe I post on Sunday evening. So next Sunday, I'm like, oh, well, I'll try in the morning and see if that works better for me. But it didn't. So the only way you're going to know, right, is if you're doing it. And I didn't stop after just figuring that out after a couple of Sundays. It's probably this last Sunday of posting every single Sunday for like 6 weeks. And I'm like, man, just Sundays, I don't know, maybe my audience just doesn't get on the phone. They're at church and they're putting their phone down. I don't know what it is. Sundays just don't work for me. And I have learned in my career, especially posting about my business and my brand online and social media, is that it is important to your confidence and to, trying to think of the right word, like your delivery on social media, that you get results. Because if you keep doing the same things and getting no results, you're not going to keep doing it anymore because it feels painful, like, for lack of better words, but it's a little painful. You make a post, like I still do it. If I make a post and it gets boo-boo, I'm like, but I thought that was so good. I spent so much time on that caption. It could have a whole bunch of stuff to do with it. Could be that it's the wrong time for your audience. Could be that you said something that was spammy that Facebook or Instagram or TikTok flagged. It could be that your photo was a little dark, so the algorithms flagged it. I mean, there's so many things that could be, right? It's not always just your content. It's not always that you don't have value. Okay. So take that out of your mind as well. But one of the things that I have found, especially, and this is why inside the TikTok challenge, I have a whole, like, I want to say like day, but I have a whole part of it where I talk about repurposing your content. And the reason I got excited about sharing that was because repurposing my content, as far as right now on Facebook, I didn't even know you could do this, but repurposing my reels, TikToks on Facebook has boosted my percentage of engagement by 1,000%. Like, I got a message saying it was like 1,300%. I was like, is that even a percentage? Like, I thought 100% was the highest we could go, but said 1,000%. So I'm loving that feature. And again, I've always said this, and I think it's very important to remember that it's always important to be an early adapter when it comes to things and features that are launched on social media platforms. So when we get on here, we share stuff with you. And if you pay attention to in the Hustle and Slay group, I know that sometimes everybody's in a bunch of groups. And this is why I stress to try to click the follow in there, try to engage in there so that when we post something in there, you see it, whether it's instantly or not. But you don't want to, sometimes, like when trends or when new features come out, you don't want to see them next week. You want to be an early adapter. You want to be able to see them in the first 24, 48 hours and start using them, right? Like, I remember when polls first dropped, everybody's like, what is this, Sydnee? What do we do? And I was like, just go in there and like ask people if they're a morning person or not. Like, ask them if they make their bed or not. Put yes or no. Just use it, right? And now there's questions, and now there's multiple choice polls. Like, there's all this kind of stuff, right? Because most of the time what happens is they kind of like snowball the feature out. They'll like put it out a little bit, see if people like it, and then they'll start, pushing out more features to the feature, right? Yeah, I would agree with that, Kathleen. She said in the comments, I get better engagement with Facebook Reels than TikTok. And again, I think too, a lot of the difference for me as far as my Facebook and my TikTok is I've consistently been more like active on my Facebook for 7 or 8 years than I have even to this day, right? My ultimate platform to go to has always been Facebook. always been go-to. And TikTok is kind of new still, and their algorithm. And so when we talk about times and stuff, when we talk about TikTok, it doesn't matter really what time you post on there. Like I'm telling you, for times for Instagram, you've got like, I know personally because, okay, so the first one for this strategy is going to be posting consecutive days, right? And that way, you know, if Sundays don't work for you, because again, no matter what time I post on a Sunday, I just don't have high expectations of results because I've learned that my content doesn't really work that well. But what I've also learned is that sometimes it rolls into Monday. Sometimes I start getting people that are liking my stuff on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok Monday, even though I posted it on Sunday. So I don't really have, I try to detach myself from the expectation of it and hope that, you know, Monday just works really well. But I'm always kind of going back and number two, tracking my results. I'm always looking and saying, okay, this worked really well and this didn't. And that's why you've got to post on consecutive days and look at your engagement results. And similar to what Kathleen's saying, because I can 100% tell you that she's looking at her results because she knows what works better, is I can go on and post a TikTok, save it, repurpose it, put it on the other platforms, and they just skyrocket. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? But that's okay, right? The ultimate thing at this is, even when we talk all the times, the wins, the hashtags, the algorithms, all that stuff, the most important thing to you growing your content is your consistency. That's the most important thing. I don't want you to get so stressed out that it makes you not want to post at all. Because I know sometimes, most of the time, what do confused people do? Nothing. They sit there and they go, oh my gosh, I'm so confused. I'm just paralyzed in confusion. I'm never doing anything. So as we talk about these things too, use them as they feel necessary for you, right? You might not use all of these. So one of the things that I do once I've posted for consecutive days and I've tracked my results, I start repeating those steps, but changing the times that I do them. So you have analytics on your Instagram, you have analytics on your Facebook, you have analytics on your TikTok. Do I think those work all the time? Yes, but I don't think you solely need to focus on them. Again, like I was saying, if your analytics say your whole audience is on at 9 a.m., I don't want you to sit with really good content at 8:44 going, I'm going to wait till 9 a.m. because that's when all my people are on. Just get to posting, right? And you're also going to find out maybe that 8:45 mark works better for you than the 9 a.m. You also might find out that really doesn't work well for you, even though they say everybody's on there at that time. So I don't want you to focus too much on the analytics when it comes to that. I want you to focus on doing it. So posting on consecutive days and tracking your own results. And simple by tracking your results, right? You can just go on and look at your views, your engagement. The reason I love having a digital profile, a digital creator profile, is because when I go on to Facebook, let's say, for example, they don't have insights for reels yet, but it's coming. So when you click them, you can see it's coming. So I can make a post like, I made a post a couple days ago, just reintroducing myself. Please do not sleep on the reintroducing yourself posts, because I was literally making that because I hadn't posted in a couple days. And so I just grabbed some like regular things about my life. Like I'm a boy mom, I go to the beach, I like to work with people, blah. Like 269 likes later, I was like, what the heck? That's the highest engagement I've had in a while. So then I check out my insights and it had reached 3,197 people. That's the highest piece of content that I've had in at least a month. The only way I'm able to see that though is because I use the insights. And to me, right, that's the reason I like the insights, is because I went, wow, okay, I just need to go back to like the basics of, hey, this is me. And I did trickle my business in there. I said, I love to work with people. I worked at Dollar Tree for 9 years. Now I teach people how to build business online. And I know sometimes when I talk about building business, people run, or they don't comment on it. They don't engage with it. And I have lots of people go, hi, nice to meet you, or message me and say, hey, I'm in that business too. What kind of business do you do? So it worked out a lot better than I thought, but also I wasn't stressed about the times. I wasn't stressed about, I was really trying to just show up. So again, showing up is the most important part. But then when I can track those results and know, okay, basic Sydney works really well. Keeping it real works really well for me. So then number 2 is repeating your results again so that you can see. And then number 3 is comparing your results. So when you're looking at everything, okay, Monday worked, Sunday did not really work. This time worked, that time really did not work. And trusting the process, because it's always going to be a process when you start something new. When you start being consistent, that's a process for you. When you start posting consistently, that's a process for you. When you start gaining engagement, it's going to be a process, right? Because I know a lot of times people will look at my posts, or maybe what I just said right now, you're like 269 likes. I don't even have 269 friends. Well, 7 years ago, neither did I. 5 years ago, neither did I. So it's a process that if I wouldn't have stayed consistent for this amount of time and trusted that I was going to get somewhere, it wouldn't have happened either. And now, as we have kind of discussed that, I don't want you to feel like you have to live by this. Or if you have an inspired post or an inspired live to do, you're like, oh, it's 9:15, I can't do it because it's not a part of my strategy. I don't want that to happen because, again, content is queen, but delivery is king. So it doesn't matter what kind of content you have, delivery is the king. If you get on, and even if you mess up, if people find it funny or they enjoy your content, that's what's important. So just think about the delivery when it comes to your content. And if you need to boost your confidence or your engagement, this strategy is what will help you do that, right? If you just need to see that things are working for you, if you're that type of person, that's how my mind works. I need to know that something is working for me. It helps me boost my confidence. It helps me go, okay, yep, I'm going to do that again. Like I hadn't gone live for a while. I went live yesterday, got a nice boost of confidence from it. And I was like, all right, Sid, we're back. Because sometimes we fall off. We're all human here, okay? And I want to leave you with this. I got this quote from Alex Hermosi. I talked about him and his wife a couple times on here. Really successful, just business people. But he said this, and I thought it worked really well with what we were talking about today. And he said, you can do all the things to get your vibe right and your affirmations. But ultimately, to get more confident, you're going to have to outwork your self-doubt. You're going to have to outwork your self-doubt. Work gets results, boost your confidence, because not working and not getting results, how does that make you feel? It doesn't make me feel more confident. It doesn't make me feel more like, yay, it's going to be a great day. Outworking your self-doubt and just taking action. It's a big thing that I do whenever I'm feeling like, again, because I'm human, some days I'm just like, woo, whenever I'm feeling that way, I just take action. I take full on action because then I'll get some kind of results that will help me have a better day, that will help me have a better mindset, better confidence. Melinda, I will answer your question in the Hustle and Slay page, and I'll give you some tips inside a post. I'm just going to copy and paste it so that I can use it. And that way we can answer that question for you. So hopefully today I'll post these 3 or 4 strategies in there as well, just some things to give you so that you can start to post consistent content and kind of just start to see results. But take advantage of the things that the social media platforms are giving you, like the insights, the engagement tools. A lot of us are posting and praying. We're posting and we're walking away for 3 days. We're not paying any attention to the people who are engaging with us or any attention to, again, I understand we're all busy, but if you make a post and you don't go back and you don't check until the end of the night and you've got like 15 people who said like, I want more information, right? You probably just slept on that opportunity a little bit. So maybe it is for you. I wait until I have 15 minutes from work so that when I'm ready to do an opportunity post, a call to action post, I'm able to be by my phone in case someone says, hey, I'm interested now, right? Like imagine if, and I'm just telling you because this is how I am. If I want something, I'm gonna go get it. So if I comment on your thing, I'm like, I want more information. It takes you 2 years to get back to me. Not 2 years, but whatever, 2 hours. I probably already searched on Amazon and found it. That's just the truth. That's just the way the human race is. So we do have to sometimes kind of be there and be on it so that we, when we're offering the opportunity, are able to help people and make impact. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys today. I always love hanging out with you. If there's anything that I can do for you, you know where to find me in the Hustle and Slay page. If there's anything more that you want to touch up or talk about, or like Melinda, any questions that you have that, just you want answered, I'm happy to do that inside there. I just think it's more beneficial for the whole group if we post it in there and then I can answer it in there, because most of the time, a lot of us have the same questions and that way everybody can see your answers, because I know that not everybody can show up here. So I'm always happy to help with that. Just do me a favor when you do that, tag my name, tag at Sydnee Sleiman so that I can see it, because I get lots of notifications as well. And I'm always happy to help. So thanks for hanging out, guys. See you next time.